What's going on, family? Want to say good morning to you. I want to thank you for tuning in and joining me today here on the live video. Today, for Mindset Mondays, we're going to talk about overthinking. And the topic is to stop overthinking and start moving forward. I find that we as people, we overthink quite a bit on decisions that we need to make, especially decisions that revolve around a change in our life. And although, yes, it is good to be thinking and planning and be strategic in your moves, sometimes you can think too much to where you become paralyzed and you don't make any action at all. So today we're going to talk about overthinking, some of the pitfalls that happen when you overthink, and then some things that will challenge you to address that issue. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Jimmy Scott Jr. I am a certified life coach, public speaker, spiritual mentor, and a brother to you in Christ. And my whole goal today is to help you reframe your mindset around making decisions and taking action, right? So when we talk about overthinking, right? Basically, overthinking is when you spend too much time or you spend too much thought on a particular thing where you have to either make a decision or you have to formulate a plan. Now, again, while it's good to be strategic, while it's good to think things through, think about all of the details, think about the what ifs, this could happen, that could happen. While all of that is true, sometimes we get stuck in that mentality. We get stuck to a point to where we go down a rabbit hole of all of these other scenarios, one, that haven't happened, but two, could potentially never happen. We get stuck thinking about strategies and processes where you lose focus of what the main goal is or what the main point is. A lot of times, this is what separates some of the visionaries or dreamers from some of those who are more analytical, more technical savvy, right? Your traditional salesman versus your mechanical engineer, right? Your IT guy versus your real estate agent, right? So people who think very critically or think deeply depending on the job versus those who are more off the cuff decision makers, things like that. Now, there's a time and a place for all of those positions, right? There's a time and a place for salesmen, and there's a time and a place for engineers, people who have to create these things that take a lot of detail and time. But I find that for those who are those analytical people, the people who like those details, the people who spend so much time there, you tend to overthink. You tend to, as we say, we tend to do too much. Right? And so in doing so, you will find yourself not taking the action. There's a difference between the people who formulate the plan and the people who actually do the actions from the plan. And the difference is getting started. It doesn't take so much planning and time and energy to figure out everything. Reason why, one, you'll keep yourself from starting. But not only will you keep yourself from starting, the biggest thing is you'll overanalyze. You'll go over what's actually necessary. I find that when people start adding more sense to common sense, then common sense becomes over sense. And we don't need over sense. We only need common sense. We don't need specialized sense. We just need common sense. So sometimes you could take a problem and you'll over communicate or over analyze the problem where the solution is simple. And sometimes people can over analyze solutions and you'll end up with multiple solutions where you only need to pick one option. And sometimes when people are presented with more than one option, it's hard for them to pick one option because they've now overanalyzed or thought about so many different things that you could do. It's almost like, for example, let's say you think about where you want to eat. So your problem is that you're hungry, but you keep thinking about you being hungry, and then you think about all these other problems that also lead to you being hungry that you forget. The main thing is you're hungry. The main thing is not that you didn't eat at 3 o'clock in the morning, or you didn't eat breakfast, or you didn't eat dinner, or what you ate for dinner wasn't enough. And that's not the main problem. The main problem is you're hungry. So you overthink the problem. So that's one example. And then let's just say the solution is food. Well, some people overanalyze and they overthink food. Well, I could get chicken, and then let's say you make the decision to go get chicken, but then burgers sound good, so maybe I want burgers. Oh, sandwiches are also great. Oh, this is healthy. This is not healthy. Maybe I want to eat healthy today. Maybe I don't want to eat healthy for lunch or dinner. And so you start overanalyzing things, and at the end of it, you still have the same problem and you still have no solution. So for your mindset here this week, I want to challenge you this week to start thinking about your mentality around overthinking. Are you an overthinker? Let me know down in the chats, man. Are you an overthinker? Do you tend to think too much about things? Do you tend to kind of wallow when you're given a problem? Let's say you have a problem at work and you're trying to find a solution. Do you find yourself spending 30 minutes, an hour and a half, still trying to find the most perfect solution to the problem? Or are you someone who, hey, I've thought it through. I know how to make the best decisive decision that, one, it may not be the most absolute decision, because you may not know what the absolute decision is, but it is a decision that will suffice for the problem at hand. Are you someone who overthinks, or are you someone who moves forward to prevent yourself from overthinking? Let me know down in the chat, man. Which one are you? So, hey, want to stop real quick? Just acknowledge for those of you who have joined, want to say hello. Thank you for joining the live here today. Shout out to Stryker. Hello, Stryker. Good morning to you. Appreciate you for tuning in. Lucio Herrera. Appreciate you for tuning in. Shout out to you. Thank you. Good morning. I know it's not Monday, it's Tuesday, but again, want to thank you guys for tuning in and joining me here on the live. So going back to how can you overcome overthinking, right? Like, what is the mentality that we can take this week to where we're not spending so much time thinking about the problem or thinking about the solution? Well, one thing that you can do first is starts by admitting that you think way too much. It's about admitting the problem first, right? You need to admit the problem first and understand that you are someone who spends way too much time thinking about things to where it will hinder you from taking action. You need to acknowledge that first. No more of I can do that. I can stop. I mean, you can, yes. But the reality is you haven't. You can stop overthinking and take action and move faster and do these things. You can. But we're not talking about what you can do just yet. We're talking about the reality. The first thing is you have to acknowledge the reality that you overthink and it stops you from doing the action. That's the first thing we got to do. I'm guilty of it as well. I don't want you to feel that you're the only one that like always overthinks and then you freak out and you feel guilty because you didn't do anything. You just thought about the problem or you thought about the solution, but you didn't do anything to change your situation. I'm guilty of it as well. I constantly overthink on things that I'm really trying to do around business or things or decisions that I'm trying to incorporate in my life because I want to be perfect, right? Overthinking, some of the roots that spur from people who think too much is perfection, right? Sometimes the reason why you're thinking about so many different avenues and details is because you're trying to really be perfect, or you're trying to just give the best possible idea that you can think of or that you can. And sometimes greatness and ideas are rooted in patience and time. But sometimes you go over time to where it keeps you from doing the action or just living life. And so that's me. I remember just a lot of the businesses that I want to start, and remembering that because I'm so behind in lack of knowledge on how to start these businesses, I would, one, need to go to YouTube, need to go to Google and start learning what to do. So that takes time, right? Learning, making sure I have all the knowledge necessary for the business that I want to do. Two, learning how to open the business and what that process looks like. Three, learning all of the other details that go along with running a business. Four, learning investment. Five, learning taxes. Six, learning, where before I know it, a year went by of learning and no action. No writing stuff down, no actually putting pen to paper my ideas. And so I realized, man, I think I'm overthinking because I think I need to be so prepared to start that I didn't start because I feel like I'm not prepared yet. I always used to feel like, yeah, I know this, but maybe there's something I still don't know yet. And so if I start with something I don't know, then I'm going to fail and then I'm going to hate myself because I wish I would have known. That used to stop me a lot. And maybe that stops you a lot. You're like, well, if I do this or if I make this decision and I don't know enough yet, then I could fail. And if I fail, I'm going to wish I would have known and taken more time. What you need is probably not more time. What you need is action and experience. Because sometimes there are things that you're not going to learn until you have gone through the experience of it. You don't need more thinking. You need more doing. And in your doing, you'll get more learning. And as you learn, you'll begin to think on how to not fall again. We've done a video here on Mindset Mondays about fear of failure and how failure holds us back so much. Well, failure is also another one of those roots under the preconception of overthinking. Sometimes people overthink because they want to be perfect, which is the first thing we talked about. But also sometimes people overthink because they fear failing. Not only do they want to be perfect and they want things to align correctly with the way that they are and their ideas, they don't want to fail. So they will plan, strategize, create, write down, learn as much as they can before starting so that when they start, they don't fail. And then you know what ends up ultimately happening? They still end up failing. Same thing for me. I still ended up failing. The first business that I started, I ended up failing, even though I spent months of planning, months and months of planning. And then when the experience actually hit, it still didn't go the way that I thought it was going to go with the planning and the overthinking that I was doing already, trying to obsess over it. It still failed. So one is going to fail. So first thing you need to understand, right, is you have to acknowledge that you're someone who overthinks. Second thing you need to understand is that even when you start, you will fail. You will fail. There are some things along the way that you're going to experience that will not go the way that you think. Companies fail and succeed all the time. Maybe you make this amount of money today and then maybe you don't tomorrow. It's okay. Because see, when you fail, it's how you use that failure, right? Are you seeing that failure as an opportunity? Are you thinking about it as an opportunity for growth? Or are you seeing yourself as a person who, oh, well, maybe I didn't think enough. I need to go back to the drawing board and think some more instead of just taking the action. How do you see it? The way I choose to see it is that if I'm going to make this decision and I know it's a decisive decision, I'm going to trust in the decision. And that if it does fail and things don't work out the way that I formulated them to, right, just after my thinking about it, then that's okay. At least it was a decisive decision. I'm going to learn from those mistakes, and I'm going to move forward in my thinking about what I now know from my mistakes. It starts with acknowledging, it starts with understanding, and then it starts with moving. Those are the three things I want you to take this week with transforming your mindset around overthinking. One, acknowledge that you are a person who overthinks. You think way too much about things. Two, acknowledge the fact that the reason why you might overthink too much is because you're scared that they're not going to work out. You're scared that you don't know enough, or you're scared that the decision itself might be a little bit too much. Or you need to acknowledge that the reason why you overthink is because you want to be perfect. You want everything to align the way you want it to, and it won't happen that way. You're not perfect, and you will fail at some point with something of the decision you want to make. But then the third thing that you need to realize and now think about in your mindset is you need to start moving forward. Once you fail, or once you realize that you're not perfect and the things didn't work out your way, move forward. Don't wallow there. Don't stay in that space. Move. Don't keep yourself in guilt, because that guilt will eat you up, and that guilt will stop you from trying. You go from thinking to overthinking to doing to failing to guilt feeling, and then you stop trying. I'm not telling you not to think. What we're talking about in this topic is overthinking. Think. I do still want you to think, and I do still want you to plan. But don't overthink too much to where it stops you from moving. And when you fail, or you realize that the things didn't work out the way you wanted them to, don't stop trying. Don't stop thinking. Just think differently. Overthinking and thinking differently from a different perspective, those are two things that are separate that you really need to understand if you are a person who sits in the essence of overthinking. So I encourage you today to make some time this week and think about the moments where you spent way too much time and not enough action. Think about your faith. Are you overthinking in your faith and your belief in Jesus and what Jesus can do for your life? Are you overthinking about the Word of God, trying to understand it? Think about your money. Are you overthinking your finances? Budgeting. Are you overthinking? Or do you have a plan in place, but are you trying to make that the most perfect, best plan possible? Or are you trying to make and formulate a plan to where you can take some type of action and start moving to change your life and do something versus nothing? Think about your purpose. Are you overthinking what your purpose is and what you were called here to do? Are you trying to find the most perfect thing, the most perfect career, the most perfect job? Maybe you're overthinking it. Maybe it's not that hard to realize what you are put on this earth to do. Are you overthinking your mentality? Trying to change yourself and trying to refocus your mind towards positivity and towards success. Maybe you're overthinking it. Maybe it's not that hard. Maybe you've put roadblocks in front of you already that don't need to be in front of you. You've placed challenges in your mind that you don't need. Maybe you're overthinking these things. Pay attention this week to how you think and see for yourself if you are overthinking or not. Because the goal I have for you this week and the challenge I have for you is to stop overthinking and start moving forward today. I appreciate you for joining, man. Thank you guys for joining me here in the live video here. Drop some fire down in the chat if you found this to be helpful to you. And I appreciate you for those of you who will be watching this video after this live recording is posted. Thank you. Shout out to all of my subscribers, man. All 640 something of you who have chosen to subscribe and watch me here on the channel. I got a lot of great things just kind of coming up. I am finished creating my life coaching course the first course that I have, which is overcoming limiting beliefs and helping you to overcome your beliefs. I am now creating and drafting that course digitally and putting it on paper, and I will soon be ready to start having life coaching sessions digitally and in person. And if you are someone who is interested in getting some life coaching, helping yourself to overcome these beliefs and things that are holding you back from starting and overthinking and things like that, feel free to email me here at jimmyjamspeaks@gmail.com. So that's jimmyjam, JIMMIEJAMSPEAKS @gmail.com. Please be sure to email me there. And what I'll do is I'll set up some time to have kind of an intake with you to kind of understand what your needs are and kind of give you some packages and things like that as it revolves around life coaching. So I appreciate y'all, man. Every single one of you who tune in and listen to me today. I pray nothing but blessings and peace over your life as you continue to walk with me on this Christian journey. And I'll talk to you next time.